Aerial Knights Never Yield is a side-scrolling endless runner style game. As a passion project developed by a sole individual, it's clear that portions of Never Yield received great attention to detail, but unfortunately, that same care hasn't translated well into the gameplay. So, how does Aerial Knights Never Yield balance its style over substance approach? Never Yield consists of 13 short levels set in a futuristic Detroit, and only takes about an hour and a half to complete. There are 3 difficulty levels, with each progressively getting a bit harder, requiring quicker reactions and not as much insight as to what moves to make to clear an obstacle. What you're seeing in this video is the normal game mode, but I really recommend you play the game on insane difficulty. While it may be more difficult at first, this eliminates the slow-mo each time a move is to be made. Being akin to an endless runner, having the slow-mo activated at each obstacle is deflating and kills any momentum that you might have built up during gameplay. I don't really understand the decision behind this design feature, as 2 of the 3 difficulty modes have this, and render them much less enjoyable than the insane difficulty. In Aerial Knights Never Yield, simplicity is the name of the game. The 4 moves that you'll use consist of a sprint, high jump, slide, and mid jump. While playing, the game will let you know what kind of obstacle is upcoming by having them color-coded, while also flashing colors associated with the move that needs to be made. This is the extent of the gameplay throughout, with no added complexity. It's pretty disappointing that the gameplay is this linear and one-dimensional, as there is a clear need for added variation, and while there is a story here, it's nothing of note, as there's no dialogue to add depth, and thus remains a very bare-bones affair. Despite its short length, I found myself getting tired of going through the upcoming levels, as they all started to feel the same with only a handful of moves and obstacles to use and come across. And while it's unfortunate that it doesn't take too many levels for Never Yield's gameplay appeal to wear off, I was invested enough in the stellar soundtrack to continue playing through. This is undoubtedly the high point of Never Yield in my opinion, and it would have been nice to have as much variation in the gameplay elements as there were in the soundtrack. And with Never Yield being a game split into a little over a dozen short levels, the lack of a level select is also a pretty strange omission here. Even with its amazing soundtrack, Aerial Knights Never Yield doesn't do enough on the gameplay front to make for an interesting game. By having 2 difficulty levels that do more harm than good, Never Yield is relegated to being a disappointing effort, albeit one with an amazing soundtrack. If you like this video, consider subscribing and checking back weekly for more content just like this.